Today I'm going to show you how to build a simple birdhouse. It is a job that will take maybe 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30, depending on how familiar you are with the tools you're using. Now, to build a very simple birdhouse, you need very few tools and simple material. The first thing I'm going to use is to make the front and back of the birdhouse is I'm going to use this 1x6 white pine stock. For the sides and the roof, I'll be using the 1/4 inch paneling, and you could use various types of paneling depending on what style, how you want the birdhouse to look. Basically, that is the only wood material you will need for this simple birdhouse. The tools you will be using, you will need a hand drill. If you choose, I use screws in mine because it secures them a lot better. You need a hand drill. You will need a drill bit that is designed for creating holes. If you decide you want to make a larger birdhouse for larger holes, we have a larger size here. I will be using this size today. You will need a 1 Phillips screwdriver, and depending on how secure you want to make it, there's various types of Phillips screws you could use. You can use nails, however, nails aren't quite as stabilizing, they don't last quite as long. The power tools you will need will be a simple bandsaw. It's a small bandsaw mounted on the top of a workbench. This bandsaw will cut all the materials that you need cut to build a simple, small size birdhouse. You will also need, in order to stabilize your wood, to cut your holes, it is nice to have a bench vise, small bench vise, secure the wood that when you cut you make your holes in your birdhouse entry holes. Those are the tools you will need. Now I'm going to get started here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my birdhouse, the front and back of the birdhouse. I'm going to measure it, cut the front, using the bandsaw, make my roof style, cut a second pattern, and we'll go. That's the first thing I'll do is make my initial front and back frame of the birdhouse. So I'm going to do that now.
Father's Day's no fun. Bad gifts, no toys for Dad. This year, Craftsman Tools is remaking that.
What do you actually want for Father's Day?
Let's make Father's Day a real holiday.
Hey, Dad.
Sweet. Thanks, buddy.
Make Dad's day with Craftsman Tools like the new Mach series. Find great gifts at craftsman.com.
Now what I'm going to do is decide which one of these This is the front, this is the back, this is the front, this is the back. I'm going to choose this for the front because it's a little bit smoother cut, has a little bit fewer deformities in the wood. This will be a little bit harder to drill through for my holes. So I'm going to use this piece here to make the entryway. I will center, measure the wood, center it, and then use my vise. So now I have my front and my back. So now the next thing I'm going to construct is the sides. I'm going to determine just basically how long do you want your birdhouse. Now when you construct your sides, you do not want your side panels to come all the way to the angle of the roof. You want to go about an inch below in order to provide ventilation in the birdhouse, so they have the natural ventilation. It won't get overheated during the summertime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure that is 5 inches. So I'm going to make the side, my birdhouse side is going to be about 4 inches. Actually, I'm going to make them, 4 inches. I will use a very small drill bit to start my beginning screw holes for the sides. Tighten it down, making sure it's nice and flush on the end. Bring in the front. Now this one has knots on, so if you want the knots to show, you can put it this way. It's very important to get this front as flush as you possibly can and make sure that it's nice and even. Put a little bit of pressure on there so that it won't move around when you start your drill. It is very important to use wood screws because metal screws will not, they will eventually cause the wood to break down. They won't grip as properly. Now on the back, since it's going to be a little bit of tightness, you're going to have to make a little bit of adjustments. Make sure you put the proper pressure on your wood so that it'll stay in line. When you drill your holes, you want it to be even.
In the world of power tools, there's what is claimed and what is real. And real power, though not always pretty, is what gets the job done. Here, precision and versatility is everything, and failure not an option. The Bosch Multi-X, a real tool with real power. No apologies, no excuses, and no substitute. Built with real power to outlast, overachieve, and outperform, day in and day out. So what are you going to do with all this power? Cut, grind, scrape, or sand. Anytime, anywhere, any job. All this from one tool. The Multi-X Oscillating Tool from Bosch, the #1 tool company on the planet. Oh, and one last question. What are you waiting for, huh? The new Bosch Multi-X, power and versatility within reach.
Now we've got the sides all done. Now we just need to put the roof on. Now it's very important. This is a wood screw. It is a flathead wood screw. It's specifically designed for wood. It will grip. Metal screws aren't designed to grip the fibers. These are designed to grip fibers. So it's very important, especially on your roof that's going to be exposed to the weather, is to use a wood screw, and your wood birdhouse will last much, much, much longer. So in order to do the roof, we're going to decide first, using this material here, this paneling as part of the roof, I'm going to determine how much overhang do I want on my roof. It's going to, remember, we got this vacant spot here, so we have to make sure that that's covered so rain won't go in, but we leave that so when they're on the overhang, there's plenty of ventilation. Because in the summertime, it could get quite hot in there, so it's make it more natural, like in a natural tree, so the air could move through. That's why we leave such a nice ventilation area here. So I want to have my overhang. So I'm going to measure from here. Decide I need about an 8-inch paneling for the roof. That gives me about, 7 inches. It gives me 2 inches of overhang. There's plenty of room to prevent water from going in the side. So I'm going to take this paneling, this piece of wood here. This is going to be part of my roof. And I'm going to measure 7 inches, make 2 strips, using the wood screws. I'm going to attach it to the roof. Making sure I have a good straight edge. Now you will notice that for my roof, I'm going to use a longer screw, much longer wood screw than I used for the side paneling. I'm going to use the same procedure. I'm going to drill 4 holes in the roof, attach this roof paneling on this side, four holes on the other side, and attach the paneling on the other side. And when drilling, make sure that you apply pressure when you make your initial drill hole so that your wood won't move around and it'll be out of line. So I'm going to do that.
Father's Day has always sucked. See this ugly tie? It doesn't make me a happy dad, just makes me wanna cry. But this year we'll change the tune, we'll stand right up and say, grab a Craftsman tool, let's get to work and remake Father's Day. Make is what we're made to do, make just like we always do. Make with Craftsman tools, hooray, it's time to remake Father's Day.
Get Dad's gifts and join the fun at craftsman.com.
So the last piece of construction that I'm going to do is I'm going to put the floor. What I'll do is I will take the birdhouse, line it up on a piece of wood, and using my marker, I will mark off what I need to cut this direction. Check all the way around and see if there's any excess. If there's any excess, I simply mark it and trim it so there won't be it's a little bit of excess in the back. And now using the same, pretty much basically the same process, I'm going to drill 4 holes in the bottom, sit on this side, line this up.
True grit and determination comes from the inside. It's not something you learn in school. Out here, the competition is tough. It's be the best or get left behind. And when push comes to shove, you're only as good as the tools you use. At Bosch, we engineer from the inside out, because the best cordless tool starts with the best battery. And we've got that. When it comes to durability, power, lightweight, no one else comes close. This is a call to all who want to be the best and use the best. To those who take pride in their work, who aren't afraid to tackle the impossible. Because when your name is on it, that stands for something. The new 18-volt lithium-ion cordless system from Bosch, the #1 power tool company on the planet. So step up and grab the best. Bosch, best built, guaranteed.
Now you have a fully constructed birdhouse. What we're going to do now is to make sure that this birdhouse is nice and tight and sealed. I'm going to use a biodegradable caulking compound. And what I will do is I'm going to fill in all of these corners. The gap in the roof is waterproof and it's biodegradable. And then you will have a completely sealed and ready to use birdhouse. You simply take your caulking gun, you run along here, you put caulking and filling in the gap on the roof. Using your finger, you can smooth it out very smoothly. Wipe off any excess with a paper towel. Is simple. Just simply wipe off any excess with the paper towel off your fingers. That seals that roof completely. Turn it to the side. Do the same thing to the side here. Just run your caulking along the edge. Using your fingers, smooth it out, fill in the gaps. You could use it, and you could use the excess on your fingers to use on the other side. Using your caulking, fill in the gaps. Take your finger, fill it out, so it makes it nice and smooth. This caulking will be completely dry in about an hour. Do your ends. And if so desired, you could do all along the edges here. That gives you that seal, that completely, so if you choose to paint it, you'll have a complete seal all the way around. This is a biodegradable, non-toxic caulking. Get it all, get it smooth. Do the front. Now, this birdhouse is ready to be painted. Well, once the caulking is completely dry, get some fine sandpaper and sand it around where the caulking is to get that smooth. Sand the back here, get that excess caulking off. And then your birdhouse is ready to paint. It is a complete birdhouse. It's designed to handle any small bird. This is a completely constructed, ready to use birdhouse. Painting it is an option. And that is how you build a small birdhouse.
We once made things. Incredible things. Things some would say inspired. Became more than what they started as. And became bigger than all of us. And then somewhere along the way, some of us forgot. Making turned to buying. Crafting into assembling. And what was once a way of life became a forgotten hobby. But our fire to create is not lost, nor can it ever be extinguished. Our passion to make is part of us, and needs only be fueled again. For we were born to make, mold, build, shape, transform incredible things. Coursing through our veins, the urge to make something from nothing and build a legacy for us all. Surrounding you lies earth, wire, wood, glass, steel, brick, and stone, just waiting to be made great. Go ahead and make something of it. And inspire the rest of us. We all are, and always will be, made to make.